And we are live.
What's up,
What's up,
everyone?
everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 95,
and
and I'm joined by the king of Scots himself, KJ Mack. How's it going, brother? Good evening, sir.
Not bad. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you again for coming on.
No worries.
This has definitely been an episode I've been wanting to do for a while. Finally, we're able to do it here.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely it's gonna be a fun one. But again, let's start it again. You heard the name of the podcast. It's called Respect the Craft. So for you, when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean for you?
I think for me, it means what wrestling meant to me when I came back to it. I started off watching when I was really young, about kind of 6-7 years old. Got into it, and when I hit high school, I stopped watching it. So when I was around like 12, 13, I stopped watching, just because it wasn't the cool thing to be into at the time. So I dropped it, but then came back at 19, around the Kofi Mania time, and respecting the craft. To me, it was an art form. Coming from an acting perspective, I was like, this is an art, and to me, the craft is the blood, sweat, and tears, the time that gets put into creating these Shakespearean characters in such a short space of time. On TV, obviously you get your week-to-week viewers, but also on indie shows where people are carrying these characters all over the country, everywhere they go, and it's all as Coach Santi likes to say, Shakespeare and spandex.
Hey, there you go. And definitely it is. That's comparison there with the art, and especially with acting, it's that perfect mix.
Yeah.
So let's get into that with you. Your original training was here as well at Iron Girdle.
Yep.
So how is that for you again to train the likes of ET Gun? You have Wolfgang. A lot of great ones on Scottish wrestling.
Yeah, it was amazing to have my official start there. I had done a couple of sessions. I was like, before I started with Girders, before the pandemic, I had a couple of sessions in England. I was living in England at the time, and I did a couple of sessions there, New Year's resolution kind of thing. And then the pandemic hit. Obviously, I had to move home. Moved all my stuff back up to Kilmarnock, which is just southwest of Glasgow. And I was looking for opportunity to keep going. And Iron Girders was just opening up, and they were offering one-to-one tuition because it was obviously a pandemic, social distancing. So it was very much a case of you were in the ring doing your rolls and your bumps, and the coach was on the outside with a mask giving you instruction. So it was like that for the first kind of few months, and then it got to a point where the coach could get in with you, and then it got to a point where the coach could get in with you without a mask. Then it got to a point where I could have a training partner and the coach in the ring with me, and it just kind of progressed like that. But a lot of the guys back home that are on ICW, on Progress, a couple of them did WXW as well, just recently. They've all got the same opinion that. So I had about 18 months of one-to-one sessions, 2 hours, 3 times a week. And those guys are like, those 18 months were worth double that time. You were training for 18 months, but you get 3 years worth of experience because you were one-to-one with some of the top guys from the UK at that time. I was getting to work with them 3 times a week, and it was focused solely on me. So by the time I moved out here, I was ready to go. I was just ready for someone to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is something almost, in a sense, unheard of, that you get to see one-on-one training. Even here in the States, it's usually the class session. Even when it's smaller classes, you still have maybe 5 to 6 in a class to get that one-on-one, especially with the likes of who you were training with. That's a huge step there, and that's definitely what you could see in your ring work, in what you've already done in a short time for us seeing you here in the States. it's definitely the ring work is there.
Yeah, 100%. Because that was a lot of the focus. Back home, it was on the technical work, on the small minute things where, because a lot of the guys I was working with were they were working with NXT UK at the time, so they were in with Robbie Brookside and Johnny Saint, and what they were getting told there, they were just bringing back up the road to us and saying, look, here's what they were telling us at the UK PC this week, we'll pass it on to you. So we were getting that kind of passed down knowledge, which was great, but it really gave me a really great base in my, what I like to think is a kind of hybrid style of the physicality and technical work of the UK scene with a bit more of the showmanship and spectacle of the American scene. So I came in with that strong kind of technical foundation that I actually got to explore a bit more over the weekend. I was posting, I got to have a one-to-one session for the first time in a long time, but I got a one-to-one with Rob Killjoy at the weekend, and that was spectacular because we were just in there for a few hours just rolling around and working on the technical aspect of things, and it was good to come in with that strong foundation so that it was like a kid in a candy shop. He was able to just play around with it and stretch my possibilities. It was great.
Gotcha. No, shout out again to Rob Killjoy and the Ugly Ducklings. Those are guys that definitely, if you get a chance to train with, it's always good. But here we go. Also, we have a comment for our good friends Wes and Kyle in the chat. Shout out to them. They're saying, we've seen KJ a couple times and you were awesome. You're a great guy there, Joakim. Again, shout out to Joakim and all the Fallout as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, coming here, like Joe, we were speaking about it recently, like everything that I have in America and on the wrestling front is all it was all Joe. It was he definitely gave me that platform to leap off of, because I moved here last August. It was about mid-August. I arrived on the Monday, which was the 16th. I remember odd dates, but I arrived on the Monday, which was the 16th of August, and then on the Tuesday I did my first session at Fallout. Like it was that quick a turnaround. I just wanted to hit the ground running, and then what was maybe about 6 weeks later, they had the anniversary show, do the fight thing out in Ridgefield, and I was there for the first Fallout showcase match against Gamble, and it was just we met. I think maybe a week or two after we met, there was the Jobber Tears SummerSlam watch party at Legends. We had a drink, we had a talk, and then next thing I know, I'm getting booked on a Battle Club show. So it was a quick turnaround, but Joe gave me that platform and that foundation for where I've been able to go to now.
Definitely so, and I can see again that also comes with having that experience. Luckily, that you were able to get that training, the time you were training for the longest. Which I do have to ask though, what was it that got you? Because it's one thing to want to expand, want to make that travel to the States, but did you know about Fallout previously, or was this something that was almost out of luck that everything just worked in its place?
So this is something that we talk about on a regular basis. It was the biggest happenstance butterfly effect you've ever seen. I talk about it all the time, and it's like, if I ever make it, get signed, I've got two main people to thank in terms of butterfly effects. For a start, what got me back into wrestling was Mustafa Ali getting injured, which led to Kofi Mania, which then brought me back, which then got me into it, which then got me to start training. And then just before I moved to the States, I was working in a van. I was doing a delivery job for my dad's company, and right through the pandemic, I kept working on my delivery job, delivering to shops in Edinburgh. And whilst I would be in the van, I'd be driving and I'd be listening to podcasts, a whole array of stuff. But one that I loved listening to was What Culture. So round about the time that I was getting in touch with schools over here to try to continue my training, a clip went viral of one Harlow O'Hara taking a wicked bump through a barbed wire crucifix. Now that clip went viral. She ended up on the What Culture podcast, which I then listened to at work. And then I was like, oh, there's another school I can send an email to, because Harlow made a point on that podcast, and I can't remember who was hosting it that day, but they said, you've gained a lot of criticism for taking such a nasty bump, such a dangerous bump, in front of about 150, 200 people. Like, why would you do something like that in front of so few people? And her instinctive response was, if I was ever going to take that bump for anyone, it's going to be for a Battle Club crowd, because they are the best crowd you'll ever come across. And I was like, well, damn, I want a piece of that. Sent the email, and within days, there's a couple of companies that I won't name names, I won't call them out, but I emailed them about their school, and it took them 6 months to reply. Elliot was very good on the Mr. Martinez. I will put him over on that front, where I sent an email, and within 24 hours I had a response, a very keen response on, right, this is how we go forward, this is how you come in, here's the address, here's how much it is, we're desperate to have you, just as soon as you're there, let us know and we'll get you in. And it all came from Harlow taking that wild bump through the crucifix. So every time I see Harlow, me and Joe personally thank her for taking that bump, because it led to me ending up at Fallout and with Battle Club.
That is insane there. And again, that's a great story, and I feel like with independent wrestling, it just makes sense. Moments like that are what create these opportunities, create these moments. And again, I shout out to the great people at Fallout. Shout out to Battle Club Pro. They've always been great to the channel, and also just great people. I'm always love and support the company and what they've done, continue to do for independent wrestling, and for, again, the stars they're creating. Seeing you guys, getting to see what they've done, especially with the Fallout Shelter, it's been something truly spectacular. Which I have to ask now, that being said, it's only been a few months. It's going almost a year now, but you are now co-captain at the Fallout Shelter. So you've made that step above not only just a trainee, not just a student, but now one of the premier helping the next generation. So how has that been for you, making that transition and getting entrusted with being one of those captains in the Fallout Shelter?
In all honesty, even now, I'm slightly in disbelief that I was made a captain, because until very recently, I was the youngest member of the Fallout Shelter. Everyone was older than me, a lot of them more experienced than me, but it was just something where I was putting the hours in. I wasn't missing a session unless I was literally in another country. So I wasn't missing a session. I was putting the hours in, and I was given little pieces here and there when I felt appropriate. Just like of the kind of the phrase that's always used is the different flavors of ice cream. Like I'd be in with Coach Mike or Masha or Santi or Pena, and we would be working on something, and it would come up and it would be like, oh, why do you do this like this? It's not wrong, but why do you do it like that? And I was, oh, that's how they taught me back home. So I still think that as much as the work rate and the effort was there, and the patience, and like I feel that I'm patient, and I like giving the time to other people, because people in the position I'm in now are who helped me get to where I am now. So like as much as I feel like I'm maybe not the best person to be in that position, just because I don't have as much experience as other people, I'm honoured to be in that position, because especially in the case of Fallout, I want to give back as much as I can for what they've given me. So when we have our open ring sessions, it always puts a smile on my face if I get a message through the week saying, hey, are you free this Sunday? I want to get in, I want to work on XYZ. And I'm like, 100%. If I'm available, I'm there. Because I want to make sure that these guys that are maybe brand new, that have maybe only been doing it a month, like when we're in those sessions, they don't feel like, because you know how it feels when you're learning a new skill, but you're in the environment with people that have been doing it a long time. You feel pressure to pick up that skill quickly. And I think that with the captain system that we've got at the Fallout, it allows people to just learn at their own pace. That the coaches set the task, they set the bar, and then the students learn, but then can come to us if they're not quite feeling they're getting there. We can help close that gap, which is always good, and it's always an effective way of learning. Because I feel that sometimes people It's nothing against anyone. It's just like it's I don't want to say intimidation. It's not intimidation. It's like it's starstruck kind of thing. Like the coaches, like some people feel more comfortable coming to us and saying, "Hey, look, I'm not really understanding this thing," than going to the coaches because they feel that they're holding other people up, which is never the case. And I always tell people that when they come to us, I'm like, it's not the case at all. We're all here to learn. If we were all geniuses, we'd all be signed to WWE on six-figure contracts. But we're not. We're all learning and we all learn at our own pace. So I'm more than happy to take the time with someone to go over something and just hammer it in until they get it, so that the next time we're in class and Coach Mike says, right, we're doing shit cans over the top, and then they do it, and I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? And it's like, oh, well, I put the extra hours in. And it's a good thing to instill now that if you're willing to put those extra hours in, that there's always going to be people there to help you.
No, that definitely does help out. And I feel like that also comes with, for you guys as captains, you're still, to especially to the other students, it's that feel of it's still peer to peer, because they still it comes from that respect factor as well for Coach Mike, for Coach Masha, for Coach Steve and Santi. It's that feeling of they've had that tenure already. They are veterans of the craft already. So having you guys that are similar in that time frame, or maybe just a little more, it's giving them that, okay, they're willing to help me and they're already a little more advanced. They can help me sharpen what I need, and then have the coaches come in and fully just shine off the diamond in a sense. Which that's a great factor there, which I love about Battle Club, that they do that, having that system that again it helps those students that maybe are a little shy about that. They are not wanting to ask questions, or not that they don't want to ask, but they feel, because I've been in that situation as well. When I was training, they always feel like you don't want to bother the trainer because you're taking away from time, maybe from others. But that's always great about Fallout, that they always make it apparent, hey, if you have questions, ask away. You want to continue that learning process. So that's always great. But now, with that being said, with that time at Fallout and Battle Club, you formed also a team. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about how that's been with you with the Scotaricans. How has that been, that process, doing all that?
It's been fantastic. Like, I'm having the absolute time of my life working with Scott Ricans. It was something that started off in training as a rib. We were doing practice matches, and we were doing this weekly where on a Wednesday we'd go in, we'd do practice matches, they'd get filmed, they'd get put onto a OneDrive, and then we'd analyse it the next time we were in, and we get feedback. And then a couple of times in a row they put me and Dave together, and we would always come up with dumb names, just stupid stuff. And we're like, we'll be the Scotaricans. And Joe loved it. And here we are. But it's just one of those things where it was just, there was a natural chemistry between me and Dave. And then when Jordy came into the fold, she started training with us, and me and Dave decided, right, we're taking you under our wing. We're going to bring you up to speed. You're going to come with us. We're going to get you used to a crowd, so that by the time you're ready to go out there and work, you are shit hot from the jump. So it was good to kind of start that together, and we said this recently, that it's, our journey's no fun if you're doing it on your own. So getting to do this journey, getting to have these experiences with friends and being able to do it together, where it's everything goes three ways. The respect, the name value, merch sales, merch purchasing, gear purchasing, it doesn't matter. It all goes three ways. We make sure that it's evenly split, and that no matter where any of us goes, the three of us go together.
No, that's great to hear, and that's an awesome bond that you guys are able to create. Also, so just that quick in your careers, because that's hard. A lot of times you don't get to have that. You don't get to find that as quickly, and being able to develop something that's definitely already, it has its fandom. Like I saw this past weekend, you guys, when you guys faced the Project Mayhem, you guys got that reaction. You guys got a great, which also shout out to Project Mayhem. Those are my boys as well. But hey, you guys had an amazing match. How has that been for you though? Now that you're on frequently more on those shows and getting to face the likes of Project Mayhem, getting to face Fight or Die, how has that been for you now? Getting more in there and getting to see how the crowds are reacting to you.
I think it's great because it goes back to doing everything together, because we all brought something different that helped the other two. So I think I came with my obviously my UK technical background. I'm the youngest of the three of us, so I came with this kind of new energy, going for it. Dave was coming in with the experience because he's the big brother to Jordy and I. So it was he came in with the experience, the know-how of the business and how things work, and then Jordy came in with a spectacular character that just people gravitate towards. And I feel like as time's gone on, each of us in our own skill set has brought up the other two in that skill set. Well, I feel like Geordie has helped me and Dave with our connection to the crowd, and I've helped the two of them on their technical work, and Dave has helped us on our knowledge of the business and how things work and what to do, what not to do, when to do things. And it's brought us together tighter as a trio, but it's also brought us up to a level where we're having matches. Like our first match as a team, we were in a four-way eliminator match for the tag titles. Our second match as a team, we were against Coach Mike and Coach Santi. Our third match, my first match, well, not our third match overall, my third match with the Scots Ricans. They had a couple of matches whilst I was away over the summer. But the minute I got back, we got back there, the Scots Ricans had qualified for that tag team title match against Main Event, a one-on-one team match, and I came back. I had been back here like 5 days or something, and I was straight in. Here we go, Main Event, you're getting it. And then after that, we've had Fight or Die, we've had Project Mayhem. Like the best teams in this area, they know our connection to the fans, they know our connection with each other, so everyone's wanting a piece of it. So as we're coming up, we're getting to face some of the best right off the bat because Joe has that trust in us, and that he knows that we're going to go out there and we're going to put on the best damn show that anyone can against the best teams around, because he knows that no matter where the bar is set, we'll do everything in our power to go and meet it.
No, that's awesome. And I definitely could see that trust is there. And that's great when you have that support, not only from those in the company, but especially in a situation like this, that it's, again, the one of the premier owners of also the training school. So you have that full support there. That's awesome to see. And that just has to motivate you even more to want to go steal the show, go show out, and definitely do an amazing job in front of not only the crowds, but your peers and all that goes in between. But also, with that being said, for not only are you a part of the team there, it was recently just announced, though us in the group, we already knew you were coming in eventually. You're also part of another faction. You're a part of Kane Industries, officially announced as of this week that you'll be a part of us, and you'll also be in a tag team match, well, tag team gauntlet next weekend, as it will be for a chance to earn the opportunity against the current VPW tag team champions. How has that been for you now, getting to be around Silky, getting to see Adam Kane, and your thoughts on being a part of Kane Industries?
Well, I came into VPW and my mindset was I'm out on my own. I'm going to make some statements here. I've got to show them who this big bad Scotsman actually is. And on day one, Tony took a liking to it. He was like, there's a bit of me there. And he wrapped the arm around, and I had my match with Miles Hendricks and at the Amvet show, and I was in there. Result wasn't as planned on that night, but as I said in my promo the following month, everyone in the back saw what I had to offer, and I got given the state championship match, which once again, result didn't go my way, but I did enough again to show that I deserve my place, and I feel that Kane Industries stepped in, saw the raw talent, and wanted to put an arm around and say, let's focus this in, let's guide this, because there's something there, and I appreciate that.
Okay, there you go. And again, that will be next Saturday. It's going to be you and Percy representing Kane Industries. So I can't wait to see how that's going to go. Well, I already know how it's going to go. It's going to go with a W finally for us in Kane Industries, as Adam Kane has Cade Lothbrooke, but you'll have your tag team gauntlet. And then it's a shot at the crew for those tag team titles. So then you can finally hold some tag gold. Then it might be a little bit of an issue between Percy and Dave, but then we'll settle it in the back. Maybe we'll have to bring in Dave as well. Get another Rican in Kane Industries.
We'll just we'll turn it that way. Like I've said it from the jump. I've said to radio. I've said to every member of Kane Industries, I have my ready-made tag partner in my back pocket. I've been put with Percy this time, and I feel like you're getting the good. I feel like here you're getting the Sammy and Solo. I feel like that's what we're getting with this mix up. But if you're bringing Dave in, you're getting the Usos, and that's I feel that there'll be no love lost there, but at the same time there'll be that mutual respect. I think we can all work together, and I think you can get the very best out of all of us in that situation.
There you go. Maybe I have to put in a good word. Maybe that's, again, I am the intern of Kane Industries, so maybe I have to talk to the boss man, see what he thinks about all this. But again, maybe getting that victory that'll sway his way. But let's keep it going here, because now I do want to ask this, because we talked about that travel, we talked about the original training, one place to then get to the fallout. But what was it for you that made you decide, I want to train in the US? I want to go, because that's a hard decision to make, to want to make that leap. Because again, it's not, we aren't going to know automatically, oh, this is just going to work out. We don't know the butterfly effect would happen in that way. But what was it that made you think that, you know what, I love my training here, but I want to go abroad. I want to get that excursion out there and see what happens.
Well, there was a multitude of factors. Most of them non-wrestling related, but I knew that as soon as it was confirmed that I was moving to the States, I needed to continue my training out here. I am a big New Japan fan, so I knew of the Young Lion system. And I was like, do you know what? I can forge my own here. I can forge my own. I've learned under the top guys in the UK. Let's go learn under some of the top guys in America. That was the way I viewed it. Learn from the best and you become the best. So it was one thing when I was training there, and the guys at Girders were like, look, go carry this on and learn from everyone you can. So Joe will tell you, I don't think I've missed a single seminar that's been on offer to me since I got here. I'll try and learn from everyone. And the thing is, sometimes you go and you try learn and it maybe doesn't work for you. But the way I view it is that you have a toolbox and everyone's going to offer you different tools. And you just take the ones that work for you, you put them in your toolbox, and you take them out when you need them. And that's what crafts these beautiful hybrid styles that you see, is people learning from as many people as they can, and they cherry pick the best kind of bits of knowledge that work for them. You do everything as you're asked, but at the end of the day, when you're out there on your own, you take what works for you, and that's when you piece it together.
No, I love that analogy there. That's great, and it works. It definitely shows having those different styles of being trained. Again, getting that great that UK style there, getting that mixture, getting that almost that more rugged style that we know, and then getting to see the mixture, learning under Masha, learning under Law, seeing their styles, how they differ, because everyone in the Fallout, every coach has a different style to them. So getting to have all that and learn and adapt all that, that's been awesome. And again, that's what's showcasing in the titles you guys see. Again, I'm going to keep pulling over the Fallout, and this is Joakim didn't tell me to do this, but I'm going to do it just because I genuinely do support what the company's been doing and what it shows. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. It truly does show there. So guys, if you're looking as well to get into the business, go check out the Fallout. Again, it's as easy as sending an email. They're very quick and always willing to open the doors for everyone that is willing to put in that work. But here we go as well. We have our good buddy Silky Smooth in the chat saying there's always room for one more. So there you have it.
Hey, look, if people want the Scott Ricans, they'll get the Scott Ricans. And whether that's in Kane Industries, whether that is in Fallout, whether that is in Battle Club, whether that's in the bloody Bloodline, I don't care. If people want the Scott Ricans, they get the Scott Ricans. And we will show up and we will show people what a bloody fight is, no matter where it is.
There you go. That's gonna have to be a part 2 to this. We're gonna have to get Dave on as well and have a Scott Ricans episode of Respect the Craft. But like I said, I wanted to have this one on because this has been one even before you made your way back home for a little bit. I've been talking to you about wanting to have you on, so I'm glad we can finally do this and have this conversation. So I have to ask you as well, with that being said, when we talk about going home like that and going back to Scotland, and you look at the promotions out there and you see what the scene is over there, is that a goal as well? Because where it's not a secret when you think about especially UK wrestling, ICW is a mainstay. So is that a goal? Is that something that you are looking in the horizons of one day? Hey, I'm making my name here in the States, but I have to showcase in the home base.
Like I've said it from day one, that this, as it stands, I don't know if this is going to be a career for me. This is something that I just love and that I enjoy. This is my passion project. I have work, I have school, I do all that stuff, but this is my passion project. This is the thing that I love and put my heart and soul into every minute I can. And what kind of started that on the kind of bring back before I got back into mainstream wrestling was ICW. Even when I started watching when I was a little kid, it was in the holiday camps, but it was the guys that would go on to create ICW. And one thing that always kind of breaks my heart is Grado's podcast. He had Mark Dallas on, who's the owner of ICW, and he always said that people's dream in the beginning was to be WWE champion, and no matter what he did, because he can't offer full-time contracts to the performers, it's just not possible, as much as he wants to. And these guys are coming through, he's making them stars, that of course they're stars in their own right, but he's giving them the platform. But then ultimately they move on, they get signed. I'm a simple man. A dream of mine is to be ICW champion. I've gone home, I've worked for Iron Girders, I've worked at Pro 2, and both are fantastic, but all of them were just, they were foundations to eventually be ICW World Champion. I've faced someone that has been in those circles before in Leighton Buzzard, and we put on a phenomenal showing that night in Iron Girders, and that was the point where I was really like, this is possible. So I'm hoping in these months that I'm here, I'm raising a big enough profile that one day that phone goes off and it's Mark Dallas on the other side of that phone asking me to come in. Because the guys that have trained me over there, those are some ICW originals. And it's something that I think about a lot, is not only being the champion, but just working there in the first place, and getting to showcase myself for the ICW faithful fans that are there every week for these shows that are now going up on the network or Peacock here. Like, that to me is so special, especially for a company and a country so small. And like, we've seen recently all the people that have come from there that have gone on for massive successes, because obviously you've got Drew, you've got Nikki, you've got the Coffees, you've got Wolfgang, but even out with that you've got Joe Hendry, who's back in Impact now, Like, you're seeing these successes, and they all start there. So when I look at it, I'm like, when I get there, I want to be the champion. And who knows, me and Dave might go over there and take over there as well.
Uh, there you go. That could be a thing right there. But I was gonna. That's funny you bring up again, especially when you think about it. You think of the Drews, you think of that. But Joe Hendry was a name I wanted to bring up because, like we said, he is a part of Impact. That's a name maybe Joakim has to look into. That could be a name I would love to see possibly show up in Battle Club. It's a little more opportunities to happen now as he is in the stateside. So that'll be a match just to show, especially to those in ICW, that hey, the King of Scots. There's a reason you're calling yourself the King of Scots. So maybe we need to make that one happen, Joe. So if you're watching, or even anyone that's watching, maybe we're gonna put this as a clip afterward. Make this happen. Make the local hero and the King of Scots himself go ahead.
Go ahead.
Phone's here. It's on all the time. Let me know.
There you go. But now, as we do that, now you said again, it's the passion. It is that. But what are, especially stateside, what are some goals that you have as far as independent wrestling? That again, even if this isn't the end goal here, what is it that you have that you're looking to accomplish while you are enjoying this passion project of yours?
In America, right this very minute, my two main goals. One is to become Battle Club Tag Team Champions with Dave, with Scott Rikins. That is number one. Number two is, and I keep pestering Joe about it, I want Darius Carter in a British rounds match. I think that I've always wanted to work a British rounds match, and really show what I can do in that rounds format, because I think it's so unique and different. I think the closest thing that you get here is the pure rules matches, but even then, it's not quite the tactical awareness of a British rounds match. And I think the perfect opponent for that would be Darius Carter. And I think as it stands right now, those are the big two goals for me, is to get those Battle Club Tag Championships around me and Dave's waists, and to face Darius Carter in a British rounds match.
There you go. And that's something, again, I love that style. I love that true just Matt style of wrestling. So I would love that. That's definitely a match. Joe, again, we're clipping this part too now. We have a few segments here to clip, and just to pester Joe. We need these matches to happen, especially in Battle Club, because I feel like Darius would love it, because Darius, you know his style. He has that respect, especially for that European style of professional wrestling. That true, again, even that goes past just the pure style that we know. So I could definitely see that being something that will be entertaining to watch, and just to see, again, have that true respect for the craft. With that being said, would you, with your style though, because I've gotten to see you wrestle live and in person now, it has that mix. So would you say your style truly just showcases that, or have you made your style that hybrid style in the ring?
I think it is truly. I always forget which one it is. It might be both. I always liken it to Kirby and Mega Man, where I just assimilate stuff and I take it on. So I feel like I've gotten my technical, aggressive style from back home, from Wolfgang. I think even from those three, Wolfgang showed me this beautiful technical style that someone my size, my height can perform. Then BT showed me how to mess someone up with my upper body. And then Stevie Boy showed me how to mess someone up using my legs. And the three of those amalgamated into this beautiful, aggressive, technical style. But then I came here and I meet Masha, who teaches me how to just kill someone on a weekly basis. And then you've got Santi and Law, who are in that school of thought with Wolfgang, that aggressive, technical style. And then Pena, who is just Pena. He's the finisher for a reason. I've felt that firsthand. I got in there with him at lab. He asked someone to step up. Of course, I was going to step up and take that shot. And I feel like I was close. I pushed him to his limits, but ultimately in the end, he got the W. But I think that from each of my coaches, as I said earlier, I've cherry picked. I've taken the tools, and a smooth world of sport technicality that then just becomes New Japan, like aggression, physicality, that, and I can switch through those gears flawlessly if and when needed.
No, gotcha there. And again, that's what I've gotten to see in that ring. That it has that nice hybrid style, and that's what you want to see. It changes up and it adapts depending on who's in there with you, and you never know what you're going to need when you're in that ring. But that's definitely, again, that's what makes people want to see you, and what entices people to watch KJ Mack. So that's always great. So now I have to ask, with that being said, we've talked about, again, the goals that you have, especially stateside, when it comes to the going back home and wanting that ICW championship. Well, let's talk about, again, is the end goal for KJ Mack? Is it the contract? Is it to make it there? Because I know you also have that love for acting. So are we looking for the WWE contract and championship? Are we looking for an Oscar nomination and winning one of those?
Hey, why not both? Why not both? We've seen it happen. The Rock, Cena, but Chris, even the Miz is at it now. Even Roman's at it. Like, it's getting to that stage where wrestlers are becoming. There we go, love it. But you've got that pathway now where wrestling can be used as a platform to get yourself into Hollywood, but at the same time, you're bringing wrestling with you. You're bringing the profile of wrestling with you when you cross into Hollywood. When you're going over there, Batista's done it as well. Like, you get over there, you're bringing that reputation where people are like, "Oh, this is just a wrestler," but you're not. You're the most multifaceted entertainer in the world. I don't think anyone is as multi-talented as professional wrestlers. Because you can do all of that. You can get over there, but ultimately, with wrestling, and I will steal it right from the Joaquin Morales quote book. I'm here to leave the business in a better place than where I found it. And Joe's really instilled that in me since I got here, and I couldn't agree more. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this for passion. And if I can help people along the way, that's great. But ultimately, you want to leave it in a better place than where you found it. And if I can achieve that, I'll be more than happy.
There you go. And again, this is why I wanted to have this conversation. I thank you so much, KJ, for coming on. Because again, that mentality, you could see it's been instilled in a lot of you guys. And I love that that's something, every time I've talked to Joe, it's truly there. You see it. It is making the business a better place. It's leaving it better than what we found it. And that's always been my mentality as well. That is something, since getting into wrestling, it's always been, hey, there was a lot of guys that paved the way for us. Why not make the wave even better for those that come after us as well? But again, guys, you're going to want to go support KJ Mack. The next announced event, as of now, because again, there's more to come, will be next Saturday. Go check him out. VPW, he's going to be there representing, again, Cade Industries. Come check us out. We're going to be there live. But also, go follow KJ and all of his social media there. Go follow on his Instagram there, KJ Mack Wrestling. Go follow him on his Twitter at KJ Mack Wrestler. And again, links also going to be in the description down below. KJ, thank you so much for joining me here. It's been a true pleasure. Hope you enjoyed. And again, we'll definitely be doing this again.
Thank you.
And to everyone watching, guys, thank you so much. As always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.